Paulo Costa is scheduled to face Robert Whittaker on February 17, 2024 at UFC 298. But the real question is, will Costa show up? Bohachina has pulled out of a fight not once or twice, but 5 out of 7 scheduled bouts. This dude can definitely teach pulling out lessons to dudes who accidentally impregnate their girlfriends. So, what's the deal with Costa's pull-out game? What's the reason behind it? And how does he still have a job? Since making his debut in March of 2017, Paulo Costa has been making a big splash in the organization by beating his opponents like they owed him money. He dispatched 5 opponents in a row before being matched to fight for the title against Israel Adesanya. Well, he had a glass or 2 of wine before the fight, and, well, the fight didn't go his way.
The Terminator, who was stealing all of the headlines, who was 15-0 and a beautiful record, who was a favorite by some gambling sites the night that he fought Adesanya, is that defeat affecting him psychologically to the point that it's stopping his career?
This is where the pullout saga really begins. He dropped the villain persona and became funny as hell, especially on his social media, turning into one of the biggest trolls of the sport. But what isn't funny about his new version for fans is his pullout game. After this bout, the Brazilian was scheduled to face Robert Whittaker on April 17, 2021. The anticipation was high, but Costa's withdrawal, attributed to a severe case of the flu hindering his proper preparation, left fans questioning if he would ever show up when it mattered. In his absence, Robert Whittaker faced Paulo's replacement, Kelvin Gastelum, and emerged victorious with a unanimous decision, providing an unexpected spectacle for the fight fans. Casting our minds back to August 21, 2021, Costa was scheduled to lock horns with Jared Cannonier. However, the fight was canceled due to what some might consider peculiar reasons. Expressing his discontent with fighter pay, Costa took to Twitter stating, "UFC needs to pay me, as the main fighter, to have fighting in main events. YouTubers are showing all disgrace in this business." Later, he clarified that he never signed the fight and deemed offers below $355,000 a joke. Once again, Kelvin Gastelum stepped in as the replacement, delivering another thrilling performance, but unfortunately ended up on the losing side. The subsequent bout against Marvin Vettori saw Costa finally making an appearance on Fight Night, albeit with a 25-pound weight advantage.
And he comes in a week out. You come in a week out over 215 pounds. How was that possible?
Despite the considerable weight discrepancy, Costa's lack of professionalism and disregard for his opponent, the fans and the UFC were evident. The fight was shifted to the 205-pound division, but even with the weight advantage, Costa suffered a unanimous defeat. Scheduled to face Luke Rockhold on July 30th, 2022, the fight was abruptly canceled for unknown reasons. However, it was later rescheduled for UFC 278, where Costa finally managed to secure a win. This win, though, did little to dispel the growing skepticism surrounding Costa's reliability as a fighter. Returning to the saga of withdrawals, Costa was poised to face Robert Whittaker once again at UFC 284 in Australia. However, contractual issues led to his removal from the card, causing confusion among fans and the promotion alike.
That was a pretty fake news, because I didn't get a contract or terms or nothing.
Despite such erratic behavior, the UFC inexplicably continued giving Costa chances, leaving many to wonder if and when he would ever fulfill a fight commitment without drama. Offered another chance against Ikram Aliskerov on July 29, 2023, Costa's unpredictability struck again as he unexpectedly pulled out. Citing a desire to face a big-name opponent in the future, Costa left fans in suspense. The big name turned out to be Khamzat Chimaev, and the fight was scheduled for UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi in October. However, once again, Costa withdrew, this time claiming an elbow infection that required surgery, leaving fans perplexed and questioning the legitimacy of his reasons for pulling out. The ongoing drama surrounding Paulo Costa's fight commitments continues, with each withdrawal adding another chapter to this unpredictable and perplexing tale, which leads to the question of whether he will show up to fight Robert Whittaker on February 17, 2024. They say third time is the charm, but considering what Costa does best, fans and journalists are skeptical whether this fight will ever happen. You see, the UFC counts on big names like Costa to generate excitement and hype for upcoming pay-per-view events. But every time Costa decides to pull out of a fight, the hype goes down. Imagine how fans are thrilled and tickets are selling like hotcakes because everyone wants to see Costa in action. Then, out of the blue, he withdraws, and the UFC has to scramble to find a replacement. Now, the replacements often put on a great show, but it's not what the fans signed up for. The UFC relies on big names to be the main attraction, and fans who bought tickets to see Paulo Costa in the octagon suddenly find themselves watching someone else fight his opponent. It's like ordering your favorite dish at a restaurant, and just as it arrives, the waiter swaps it out with something else. Disappointing, right? It's a lose-lose situation for everyone involved, and the UFC is left wondering when they can rely on Costa to stick to his commitments and deliver the excitement they and the fans expect. So, the final question is, why is Paulo Costa constantly pulling out of a fight? While Paulo Costa's sudden withdrawals from fights have left fans puzzled, some speculate that a shift in his mindset may be the main reason. Bohachina doesn't really care about becoming a champion anymore. The drastic change in his approach, especially after his defeat to Adesanya, is evident when you compare his previous dominant performances to recent developments. Remember the Yoel Romero fight? Costa fought with an intensity that suggested he was ready to conquer the world. However, the Adesanya bout seemed to shatter that spirit, and since then, it's been a different story. Some say he's now more focused on money fights, chasing the big paychecks rather than the glory of a championship. Despite the spontaneous appearances and a seemingly lackluster attitude towards title contention, the UFC continues to tolerate him, perhaps due to his undeniable star power. Costa's transformation into the Troll King has garnered him a unique following, with fans loving the entertainment value he brings outside the cage. Still, there's a growing sentiment among true UFC enthusiasts who are growing weary of his behavior and wait to witness the hungry beast return. The upcoming bout against Robert Whittaker should answer some questions, as fans are eager to see which version of Costa will step into the octagon. The fierce contender he once was, or the unpredictable Troll King who might pull out with yet another excuse. Only time will tell if Costa can reclaim his former glory or if his priorities have permanently shifted. Thanks for tuning in to today's video, and if you enjoyed watching and want more content like this, why not show some love with a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button? Join us on our journey to 10,000 subscribers. Let's do this together.